scientists say that about 14 billion years ago, the universe started with the Big Bang. Then galaxies, stars, then solar system. About 5 billion years ago, Earth came into existence. After that, various life forms gradually evolved. First maybe plants, then simple animals, complex animals, chimpanzee, and then man. So, with this process of evolution, how do you relate consciousness? Has consciousness also been evolving along with the physical form? And if yes, then what exactly is the process of transformation of this consciousness from lower level to higher level? Is this enlightenment just the next step of the same process of evolution?
Two things. One, consciousness is not evolving. Second thing, when the system which radiates consciousness is evolving, the expression becomes much better. Please understand, this glass may not reflect the sun, but the mirror will reflect the sun. In mirror, you will see better expression of sun. That does not mean sun is changing. So consciousness is like a sun. It itself does not change, but the mirror, the glass can become mirror. The glass becoming mirror is what you call evolution. That is what is happening. That is what is happening. The reflect, you see, when in the glass you won't see a better reflection of the sun, but in the mirror you will see. It is not because of sun, it is because of the mirror changing. Same way, your body is changing. The idea from which the consciousness is getting expressed, whether your body or mind, that is evolving. That is why you see better and better expressions. I can say, after the human being or after the human mind happened, the ultimate evolution is enlightenment. The ultimate expression of the sun is enlightenment. The ultimate expression of that consciousness is enlightenment. The possibility for that ultimate expression is there for the human mind and body. Human brain is wired for enlightenment. Human brain is wired to experience God. So if you experience that, you have achieved the peak, the ultimate, which you can experience. One more thing I want to tell you. Enlightenment is ultimate but not final. The ultimate is happening every moment. If ultimate happens and ends, that's what we call final. Here, it's ultimate but not final. Ultimate happens but does not stop. It is happening. Ultimate, continuously happening is what we call enlightenment. A little difficult to grasp by the intellect. Maybe you can understand with this example. Continuously Big Bang happening. A continuously Big Bang happening is what I call enlightenment. When you live enlightenment, this moment you will unclutch. Next moment you will unclutch from the idea you are unclutching. The next moment you will unclutch from the idea that you are unclutching from the idea of unclutching. Means continuously, see, unclutching is the ultimate. You unclutching this moment is ultimate. But that does not mean it's a final. You will be continuously unclutching. Continuously you will be alive. Continuously you will be fresh. Continuously you will be experiencing new inner space, but which is ultimate. See, if I say continuously you will experience, you will start thinking as if it is growing. No, it's not growing. What you can experience maximum, you will have it this moment. And that will be continuously happening. You always have an idea of graph. Either if it goes to peak, it has to come to valley. Or if it is growing, it is not peak. Am I right? That graph cannot grasp enlightenment. That graph is only for the outer world. It's wrong. Peak, the ultimate, continuously happening. You can't even call it as a straight line. No, it's not fixed. That's what I'm saying.
No, like you are saying, this mind body is just expressing that consciousness, and once we are able to reflect it completely in a perfect manner, then that becomes enlightenment.
Yes.
But if consciousness, this means consciousness itself has no role in this process of evolution or whatever you may call it. So mind body.
No, I don't say no role.
Yeah.
I don't say no role. See, consciousness is the base. I don't say no role. I can say it does not have an active role.
Own totally. It is like a machine which is working on its own.
Two things. As long as you identify yourself with the body and mind, you will see it has no role. Consciousness has no role. And your experiences also will be like that only. It will not have any role. When you relax and become a little subtle, suddenly you will start thinking it has a role, passive role. And you will see it has a passive role. If you settle down completely, you will understand consciousness is the only thing playing all roles. You will believe it and that will be the truth. See, the truth, you cannot, at least let me tell you from my experience, I cannot say the ultimate truth is truth for you. Ramakrishna says the whole world is illusion. Vivekananda goes and hits his head on the wall and says, no, I am having pain. There is a bleeding. How can you say it's an illusion? But Ramakrishna says when he puts his hand, his hand is just moving through the wall. It's a very funny incident. Any of you read his life, if you read the Ramakrishna's life, you will see this. And not only that, when he plays with that Kali's Murti, she is responding. But Vivekananda is playing, she is not responding. It's like a depth of experience. Please understand, in the dream state, the dream is completely true for you. In the waking state, this waking state is completely true for you. When you are awakened, there is a state that will be true for you. From that state only I can say consciousness only plays all roles. So all I can say, please come to my shore and see what I am saying. From your shore, from that side, what you are saying, does consciousness play any role? I only have to say, no, may not be. It's playing passive role. I will have to only use the other words. But to tell you the ultimate truth, the exact truth, consciousness is the only thing playing all roles. All the roles. When the mirror is becoming more and more powerful, capable of reflecting, it starts seeing the truth. It's like a glass, a next mirror reflecting. The third, not only reflecting, starts seeing the source based on the reflection. There are some mirrors, intelligent mirrors. Not only it reflects the sun, it starts seeing the source from where this light ray is coming. Where is the source? So different level. Maybe in the level from which you are questioning, where the question is raising, from that level I can say consciousness is playing passive role. But that is not ultimate truth. Maybe it's a fact, but not truth. Trying to use the truth in the day-to-day life without experiencing it creates rituals. By faking it, you can never make it. That is the important truth. See, sometimes by faking, people say that fake it and make it. No, it does not happen. At least in the inner space. Inner space, only if you make it, it can work. Only by experience, it can happen. In the outer world, by faking, you can make. You see, if it is related to ahankar or mamakar, you can fake it and make it. But if it is related to truth, by faking it, you can't make it.
With energy-based healing sciences, could you please throw some light on it, and we'd like to know more about it?
When you completely unclutch, you radiate so much of awareness and energy and intelligence. See, the energy cannot be produced, or it's not like something you create. It's continuously happening in every being. If you take a stand that you are a body, you will be on a matter. You will be in a matter plane of a physical matter, and you will be living like that only. Your desires will be very physical, grass. If you think you are a mind, you will live in the mental plane. Your desires, fears, everything will be related to mind, like a name and fame desire, fear of losing the identity, this kind of desires. If you are based on the physical plane, your desires and fears, everything will be related to that level. Like you will have the fears of basic, like a death fear, or the desires also will be related to body. In the mental layer, the desires and fear both will be subtle. In the spiritual level, being level, there won't be any desire or fear. You will be radiating the energy continuously. In which plane you are, your existence, your presence will radiate that energy. So when somebody is established in the spiritual plane, deeply, the spiritual zone, there won't be any need for any sankalpa to do healing. Many people ask me, Swamiji, how do you do healing? Do you use any mantra? Do you use any technique? I tell them no. All I do is just relax. Just simple relaxation, unclenching. Simple unclenching and relaxing. Of course, because the enlightenment has happened, there is no need for me to do consciously an unclenching. Just the very being, it's happening. Just the simple unclenching, that radiates the energy. That's all. People feel the side effect of this energy as a physical healing or mental healing or any other benefits. But the core truth is what I spoke to you, the same thing. Unclenching is the same thing. There is no other separate technique or method. To tell you honestly, I don't believe in any other techniques or methods. Those things are a good thing to create a feel-good feeling in the initial inspiration. This unclenching, I can say the straight, strong method. Just a simple remembrance. Whenever a thought rises in you, do not give meaning to it, unclench. Just remember the word unclenching. Maybe in the initial level, morning half an hour, or every day, if you sit for half an hour or 10 minutes, it will give you a clarity, more and more clarity. And then after some time, you don't need to sit separately. Whole day, whether you are sitting or talking or in the office or driving or watching or doing whatever you may be doing, that itself can be part of your, unclenching will be part of your life. And just see, you will not have a person to command you. You will not have a person to judge you inside. That's all is living enlightenment. Now, you have somebody who commands you. And person who commands you will naturally judge you. Person who commands you, somebody is commanding you inside, you do it, and he is judging you continuously. That person will not be there. That is what is living enlightenment.
That our diseases visit us because of our prarabdha and our past karmas. So if we are going to be healing ourselves in this birth by unclutching, as Your Grace said, then is it that we are writing off that part of prarabdha?
I would say that we are, see, karma itself is nothing but energylessness. Please understand, it's like a photograph. See, if a scene is exposed to a film, the light and darkness gets impressed. If you expose the same film to the sun, what will happen? The whole thing will become blank. Means the full sun can't be captured. Full energy can't have karma. The lightlessness is darkness. Energylessness is karma. Wherever there is a less energy, karma comes to play. So, bringing energy does not mean you are, for example, when people ask me also, Swamiji, do you suffer our karmas? I tell them no. When sun comes, the lotus blooms by itself and the darkness disappears. Does sun eat the darkness? No. Just by the very presence that disappears. The very presence of an intense unclenching. I can say that is the right word. The very presence of a person who is completely unclenched heals. There is no such thing as I take the karma and burn. There is no interaction. There is no bargain. There is no business happens. Here there is no giving and taking. Just the very quality and the presence of the being does the job. That's all. The disease comes from the inner space. Disease comes from outer space. There are two things. As far as Ramana Maharshi concerned, he used the body, like how I used this kerchief, and put it here. Same way, Ramana Maharshi used the body. He saw the purpose is over and he dropped it. When the cup falls from the hand and breaks, it gets disintegrated and goes back to the nature. Same way, he dropped the cup, his body. and it disintegrated and went back to the nature. Naturally, there should be some disease to disintegrate. That is what has happened. I don't think he suffered. See, surely the quality of Ramana Maharshi's cancer, the quality of ordinary person's cancer is different. So you can't call it as a disease. It's like a just body disease. You see, when you don't have the desire or the need to live in the body can be just dropped. He dropped the body. So I can't say that this is the same disease which ordinary people suffer. The quality itself is different. The person itself is different. Because Bhagavan himself healed so many people. He has healed so many people. So there is no reason why he should suffer. He has just dropped the body. From outside, when we see it as the body getting cancer and disintegrating and falling into it. That's all. So, same way Ramakrishna. How many cancers he healed? And somebody asked Ramakrishna, why don't you heal your throat cancer? Why don't you just put your awareness on the throat for 2 minutes, it will be healed. And Ramakrishna says, fool, I have already given my mind to Devi and it is not there with me. How can I concentrate on my throat? He says, just uses the very word fool. He says in Bengali, boka. And I have given my mind, how can I bring it back and put it on my throat?
But the process of healing through meditation, one person healing the other one, that does take place. That does happen.
You see, using the power of the mind, you can do that game. But in my healing science, the healing science which I am practicing and spreading, does not need to use your mind. You see, there is in the Reiki, pranic healing and all, you can use some symbols. Some symbol, some color. It does help, no doubt about it. But in that, the karma exchange happens. The karma exchange happens. Healer gets the karma. So surely, I think that is I can say the worst mistake. Worst mistake. See, anything done using the mind, both person will suffer. The person who got healed also has to, naturally he will get back the karma disease after that. Because the mental setup is not changed, you see. See, the symptom is healed, but the mental setup which creates the symptom is the same. But in the case of the master's presence, which is not using the mind, see, I am not using the mind, it's the presence. So naturally beyond his mind the healing will happen. His mind also will be healed. Means the mental setup which creates the symptom also will be handled, which will be touched, will be healed. But usually when the simple healers like using emblems, symbols and colors, when they heal, they can heal only the symptoms. So naturally the problem is, one, the person will have the disease back again because he will create it again. Have the disease means not the same disease, he will create the disease again. Second thing, the person who healed, he will also have to suffer the karma. See, this game happens in a fourth layer, I can say emotional level. So it's very dangerous. I personally feel that it will hinder the spiritual growth of a person who is healing and the person who gets healed. It is better to sit with a person who does not have mind or who is enlightened, even if it takes little time. The problem is those healers will give an immediate result like a steroid. In my case, I can't give a steroid effect. It will take little time, maybe some week or some few days. But this healing does a big job, permanent job. Of course, if I start talking a little more deeply, it will be more like a promoting. I don't want to do that job. I just, okay, we'll.
You told that you are here to all of us realize, common persons like us
Yes.
realize.
There is no common person. Persons that
Persons as God, that godness within. And now you are telling that cancer of common people are different from cancer of so-called.
See, I am telling in their case, that is the truth. You understand? Please understand. I am here to make you realize that you are God, no doubt about it. But in the case of Ramana Maharshi, he realized he is God. Surely the other persons have not realized. Now if you realize you are God, like Ramana Maharshi, naturally your disease and the other person's disease will be different, that's all. You understand that where I use that word, the Ramana Maharshi and other things, that's a realized and unrealized. Here I am saying, I am here to make you realize that is true, no doubt about it.
Can I ask you, Varnavasi could have died of old age?
Yes.
See, Paramahansa Yogananda did not have any disease. He just like that left the body. And if you read Paramahansa Yogananda's biography, he just said very clearly, I think in half an hour I will be relaxing, please get ready. And he was attending a meeting. He was honored by the
Ambassador.
ambassador of
Indian ambassador.
Indian ambassador, some Sen. BG Sen or something.
Yes.
He was honored, and immediately he looked at the watch and said, I think half an hour more, I will be done. And he just said, and all the people are sitting around him, his disciples are sitting, he lifted the hand and did namaskar and left the body. That is the way he left. So you see, to tell you honestly, you can't judge those people's activity, their activities. But I can surely say for one thing, if Bhagavan wants, he could have healed his cancer. That much I can be sure. I can be sure. Other than that, you can't judge their activities. And one more thing, in the cosmic wave, these are too minor for these masters. How you leave the body and all those things are just too minor. To tell you honestly, what really matters for me, how many people have become unclutched by me, that's all. Nothing else matters. Not the centers and ashrams. People tell me, 1,000 centers. Center means what? In the devotee's house they are running. What is there for me? And somebody comes and tells me, Swamiji, I believe you. I tell them, by believing me, you talk as if you have done a favor to me. It's not. You are doing a favor to you, not to me. No, I run in my house, I run your center. I tell them, it's not that you are doing a favor to me. You are doing some favor to you. So nothing matters. There's nothing matters. How many people are unclutched? That's all matters. See, when you walk on the planet Earth in an unclutched way, planet Earth is blessed. Just planet Earth is blessed. So, how many more people are going to bless the planet Earth by walking on it in an unclutched way? It's the only thing. Nothing else.